Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode 2 of Boxing Rampage. I am your host, JC. I'm here with Flacco. We have a great show tonight. Let's not beat around the bush with this one. Let's just start with the main topic over the weekend, and it's on everyone's minds. Let's start talking about the Andre Ward versus Sergey Kovalev fight this weekend. Flacco, what are your thoughts on this?
What a fight, my brother. It was controversial. It was exciting. And for me, personally, it was something that I thought it was going to be. A really close fight, entertaining fight. I had the fear in the back of my head that it could have been a boring fight due to Andre Ward's style.
Mm-hmm.
But it was actually an entertaining fight.
Okay. I watched the fight, and I try to be as objective as possible. And I mentioned last week that I was going for Ward. I believe what I said was Ward was going to win by unanimous decision. I actually scored the fight myself, and honestly, from what I observed, there were 3 swing rounds, toss-up rounds, which could have gone either way. Like I said, folks, this is my scoring. Obviously, you may feel a different way, but this is my perspective on it. So pretty much, I had Kovalev winning the fight 114, 113. And I think a big reason for that is the knockdown in the second round. Pretty much the way I scored it, here it goes. I hate to be monotonous with this. Rounds 1, 2, 3, 4, 10, and 12, I gave to Sergey Kovalev. And then rounds 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 11, I gave to Andre Ward. And basically, the way you score boxing is pretty much you obviously they use the 10-point system. Pretty much if you win the round, you get 10 points. You lose around 9. If you get a knockdown, 8. Or if you overwhelmingly dominate the round, you can get an 8 or 7 if there's a knockdown included. As far as effective aggression, I give that to Ward. I felt that every time he lost a lot of the exchanges. I'm not saying he hit harder, but out of all the exchanges he did do, I felt that he had a higher connect rate, and that's why it shows that. Now, as far as defense, I think Ward has great defense. I mean, that hasn't changed because he knows how to establish range. Now, ring generalship, at no point, I don't care what anyone says, at no point I felt Kovalev felt hurt, threatened. I think the only issue there was the timing and the speed of Ward, which upset him. And obviously, he got tired towards the end. And as far as the hard, clean punches, Kovalev, hands down all day. You got anything you want to add to it? Or
Well, basically, like you said, it was a close fight. It was really hard to get those rounds, and there were some of them that it was a toss-up, and you could give it to either guy. Me, I personally had it 5-5 at the 10. I'm starting at round 11, and I felt that Kovalev won the last 2 rounds, and I had it 7-5 for Kovalev. But this is a kind of fight that it depends on how you want to judge it, and if you're a type of fight, a fan that likes the kind of fights that are really technical, you could easily find a way to give it to Ward. But in my opinion, Kovalev was a champion. He should have been treated as a champion. And I felt that he was a little bit disrespected with not being treated as a champion. He was an underdog. He got paid less. And he's a 3 title holder, belt holder, that he should have been, been given that champion kind of feeling. And when usually I've been following boxing for years, and I feel that when you got to beat the champion, you got to not just do enough to win, but you got to convincingly take over the fight. And I don't think Ward at any point did it convincingly. He did. I'll give him a lot of respect because he came back from that knockdown, and it took him a while. It took him after probably the 6th to get on his rhythm, get on his style. And I noticed that he's not the same Ward from the Super 6. I noticed him a little bit slower, thought a little bit more than usual. And it could have been that Kovalev overwhelmed him. But, it was I do felt that Kovalev should have taken that fight that night. They should have gave him the fight to Kovalev. But it is what it is, brother.
Yeah, I feel like the way I scored the rounds each round. Round one, I gave it to Kovalev because he started strong. He landed the more meaningful shots. You can tell the work he did in round one led to the knockdown in round two. He imposed his will, and that's why I gave round one to Kovalev. I gave Kovalev the first 4 rounds. Round two, obviously the knockdown, he wins the round. He tastes a lot of leather, and I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it was a counter right hand he hit him with.
Yeah.
And as far as rounds three was a toss-up round. I think a lot of people that were going for Ward gave him that round, but I gave it to Kovalev because I felt that Ward. That's when he started to. His game plan was he was going to wrestle and tackle. Basically, to avoid that right hand, he had to come in with a jab and pretty much wrap up. And I think Roy Jones mentioned it. What Kovalev was doing to counter that wrestling, he was wrestling him because it's like, obviously Kovalev is the bigger man. He was going to win a wrestling battle. And that's why I think both of them are guilty of wrestling. Even the referee, Robert Byrd, said that, he felt that Kovalev won. The guy in the ring felt that he won. You can't get a better set of eyes than the referee. And I think maybe the referees were the judges were influenced by the audience.
Yeah, I think it was a crowd.
And they probably felt, it's in, it's in his hometown pretty much. He's guys from Oakland, California. Like, he had a big fan. You could tell
he's
the
like
crowd,
a
the audience.
7-hour ride from there. I believe
That's easy. As far as Kovalev, his fans have to travel overseas. As far as so 3 was a swing round.
Let me jump on that third round. The thing about that third round and why some fans gave it to Ward, not because Ward actually won that round.
Mm-hmm.
I felt that he did a little better than the other 2 rounds, and that's why a lot of people felt that he should have gotten that round. But honestly, if you judge by what it is, I think Kovalev also won the third.
Yeah, I agree. I was trying to be as objective as possible, but even if you're subjective and you love Ward, then I can see how you gave him the third round. Based on that, round 4 was a close round as well, but I feel that Kovalev did enough because if you look at all the exchanges, he basically Kovalev had the better of all the exchanges in the 4th round, and you also see that Kovalev was giving him different looks in the 4th round. He was actually on his back foot. Just to show that, hey, I'm just not being the aggressor on this fight. I can play your game too. And obviously Ward was playing into that in the 4th round, so I gave him the 4th. I think the first 4 rounds, hands down, I think Kovalev won. By the 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th, I give that to Ward. Ward was landing first. He was landing the cleaner shots in most of the exchanges. I think the one round... And this is the round round 6 was a round people gave to Ward, but because he did land a lot of body shots. But I know Kovalev in that round, he hit him twice with two eardrum shots. Like, I remember Ward was holding up his glove from the ear. So that hurt him. I don't know how
I also agree on that one. I give it to Kovalev.
Yeah. So that one, as far as 7, I give it to Ward. He had more exchanges. I think by then Kovalev was tiring. I remember Virgil Hunter was saying, he's getting tired.
I just felt like he was taking a round off.
Yeah, he took the rounds because he came back stronger later in the rounds, and then I think by 9 was a tricky one as well because 9 Ward wasn't landing effective punches, but Kovalev was also tired. So that's a toss-up round. That's subjective depending on how you view boxing. And then I give 10 to Kovalev, and then the 11th I give to Ward because I felt like he had the faster and the cleaner punches, and then the 12th, obviously, Kovalev wins that. So this is one of the reasons why boxing gets a bad rap. This is one of the reasons why UFC is it's such a close competitor to boxing because things like this you know it's wrong. People know it's a wrong decision. They just find a way to justify and say, look, I wanted him to win bad. I wanted Ward to win bad, but not like this. This is not fair. When you have 3 belts on the line, do you honestly feel you're justified in winning 3 belts? I could understand if it was a non-title fight, it could go either way, but you're taking 3 belts from a guy who earned those belts, and you won a decision off of something so controversial. At the very least, you should give the rematch. I don't know if he'll do that or not. I don't know if there's a rematch clause or not, but it just seems it's a travesty, man, because everyone thought he was winning, and I felt Howard Letterman was being a little bit biased with the scoring. There were rounds there, and I remember Max Kellerman, there were rounds that he felt Ward won, but then Harold Letterman gave a lot of rounds to Ward, and that's one thing I saw. I think Letterman was a Kovalev fan, but I as much as Ward did, I don't feel he won. At the very best, what you could give him is not even. I can't even give him a draw. I mean, maybe a draw, but that 10-8 round really did it for him. Which there's no way he could. Yeah, and that's pushing it. That's pushing it. There's no way he won that fight. There's no way.
Yeah, man. I mean, there will be a rematch. I heard on a post press interview that she's gonna Kathy Duva is gonna exercise that rematch clause.
Oh, okay.
And basically the problem here is that we know all Andre Ward. As much as he's the American gold medalist that we all try to love, but the guy doesn't help you give him that type of love. Why? Because he's really private. He's not like Mayweather, really open, or like Adrian Broner that are always in the media. They are promoting him. He's the opposite. So he's really hard to negotiate with, and
he only fights hometown. He never travels overseas.
And he also likes things his way. So basically, now that he have the belts, which is the power, he's gonna do it his way. Yeah, is gonna. But Kathy Duba said that they are really willing to fight by March, and that Kovalev will be ready. So
I think here's the experiment they're taking with Ward. I think, look, and I hate to throw his name out there, but you just ain't gonna do it. There's no person right now. I don't care if it's Danny Garcia. There's no person right now that can fill Mayweather's shoes. And I think they're looking at him as far as this could be the guy as far as pay-per-view sales. But like Flacco was saying, he doesn't have the personality, the charisma. Because like I said, he's a private person. The thing is, when it's a lot of it is marketability. You know what I'm saying? He's undefeated. Yes, he's a gold medalist. Yes. But as far as selling tickets, I mean, we'll find out how well this fight did, and then that'll dictate how much he's worth. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, he's got $5 million for a fight. Obviously, Rock Nation has a hand in this as far as how much he gets paid. But I don't think he has a star power, even with these belts, to dictate high enough terms. Because at the end of the day, it comes down to how many tickets you could sell, how many pay-per-views you could sell, how marketable are you as a fighter to where you can generate money. Because at the end of the day, hey, boxing is a business. It's called prize fighting for a reason. You fight for the highest purse bid. That's why the guy that generates the most money usually is the guy that gets preference. I mean, it sucks, but in a way, it's a business at the end of the day. So,
well, honestly, me personally, I believe that Kovalev will be the stronger guy on the rematch, and the reason why is because I saw more flaws, and even though I believe that Kovalev won, I saw more flaws on Kovalev than Ward. And I didn't see Kovalev cutting the ring as much or going to the body as much. And I believe that those are things that he's gonna go for on the rematch. And I believe he should have been a little bit more aggressive. But then again, I felt that he had some kind of fear that the referee would have interact and probably deduct the point or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
Because I did notice a bit of favoritism towards Ward, and I'm not trying to be biased, but then again, Ward was trying to referee his own fight. Like every time that Kovalev would have done anything, he would have stopped and talked to the referee. You don't do that. A fighter's supposed to fight, and a referee's supposed to referee. So, and that kind of
do their job.
Yeah, everybody does their job. So, in the rematch, I think Kovalev is gonna do better. It's like when you fight a guy and you already know his style, and I don't see Ward coming with anything new to the table in order to upset. Because he doesn't move as much. I didn't see his legs being there like 6 years ago. Honestly, for me, he's not the same Ward. So I mean, that's my opinion.
Yeah, I believe the same thing. I mean, the old Ward is not there. I mean, all the grappling he did is pretty much says a lot. I mean, that knockdown he suffered. I think he wanted to give a good fight, but hey, when you get knocked down, you go into survival mode. Like I said, I'm not taking anything away from him. He did come back, but I don't feel at any point in time in the fight was Kovalev in danger or anything to where he outpointed him. I mean, like I said, a lot of the exchanges, Kovalev won him, So it's different if it's a non-title fight, but when you have belts on the line and you earn these belts, it's just not right. And I mean, he knows it. I mean, even I believe it in the post fight interview. He was like, "Oh, it sounds good." Listen, when you know you won, you don't say it sounds good. The numbers, you know you won. You know, you don't need to see the fight. I mean, if you know you won, you won. I mean, in the 11th round, the commentators are saying, "Hey, you know, he has to pull something out of the bag to win," and you know, I'm pretty sure he was surprised himself. But the thing is, now that he has these belts, hey, you got to deliver now because, I mean, they give you that power. So you better start selling some tickets if you want to hold on to those belts. If not, I don't see that, you know, I don't see that working out for you.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I believe that we all wanted him to win in a way because he's like the American dream, like have the gold medalist to be the champion and now, like you said before, take over the Mayweather. But I saw so much flaws and I saw much things that a guy like Triple G could give Ward a better type of
punish him.
A fight. Why? Because Triple G cuts the rings better, goes to the body better, set up his punches. He picks his punches better. Like it would have been Triple G that night. Me personally, and in just my opinion, I think he would have probably knocked out Ward. Because Ward, as much as you know he did on the Super 6, he did not look like that same Ward. He looked slow. He did had, you know, the timing was still there, but everything else was his movement and just thinking. And I don't know. Either, you know, it was probably, let's give him the benefit of the doubt and said it was the whole momentum of the stadium, the people, the crowd. It could have been that too, but you know, I don't know. Or maybe just fighting lower opposition got him to that position, but we don't know.
Yeah. That was a robbery, straight up. There's no other way to put it. So anyway, enough on that topic. I feel like we beat that horse to death. Let's talk about the fight coming up on the 26th. It's Vasyl Lomachenko versus Nicholas Walters. I think we touched on this last week. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, I would like to break it down a little bit better. And Walters is a guy with a lot of power. And this fight is what, at 130 now?
Yeah.
At 130. I think when he was at the lower weight, with 126, Walter had more power. Why? Because the night of the fight, he was a bigger guy. And lately, I haven't seen him fight. I don't know, after the Sosa fight, who he fought after Sosa? Walters.
Walters. From what I have here, he fought. I mean, he has a great opposition.
No, but I'm talking about Sosa. After Sosa, I don't think
he hasn't fought anyone. I mean, the most notable wins on his record are Victor Chinian. He beat him by KO, and Nonito Donaire. Yeah. Which the Nonito Donaire fight was the one that set the stage for everything else.
Yeah, that put him out there. But yeah, like I said, you know, after the Sosa fight, he went MIA, and I haven't heard from the guy. I mean, and I didn't feel that he carried up.
It's a long layoff.
Yeah, I don't think he carried up the power when he moved from 126 to 130.
Literally a whole year without fighting.
Yeah, and Sosa was, even though I felt that he should have gotten the decision, and instead of that draw that they gave him, I think that he should have, by the level of where he is, he should have looked way better in that fight, and should have like put an example, step on his foot, and show that he's the better fighter. But and that's why I felt that maybe that's why the judges saw a draw. I mean, honestly, I could go back and I can't see the draw, but I don't know, man. Lomachenko had come out stronger, faster. This kid is just impressing me more and more by every fight, and I just can't see, other than maybe Nicholas Walters catching him with a good punch and hurting him and taking advantage of the occasion, maybe. But other than that, I really don't see a way that Walters could win that fight, man.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at both of them, I mean, hands down, man, Lomachenko's just, he's on another level. There's nothing. The guy uses angles. He varies the speed on his jab. He turns his opponents. He does everything. It's almost like he has that Olympic style, but he uses it as a pro. He has speed. He has power. I mean, something to know, and I know you guys know this, his amateur record is 396 wins, 1 loss. And the 1 loss he has to Albert Selimov, he avenged that loss. So I think he fought him once or twice, but I'm not sure. But pretty much, he's also defeated Oscar Valdez as a amateur. I mean, Oscar Valdez is a beast. I mean, if you guys don't know who he is, man, that kid is a killer. And obviously, as a pro, he's defeated Gary Russell Jr., which is a tough opponent. I mean, Gary Russell Jr. after that loss, he's looked impressive. So that says a lot about Lomachenko, his skill level. I think that the fight he took against Orlando Salido was too early in his career. It's such a step-up fight that a lot of people judge him on that performance. But the thing is, fighting as an amateur and fighting as a professional is very different. One of the reasons is you have to look at the amateur system is based on a point system. And, you know, a professional, obviously you score by rounds, but also speed and power have a lot to do with it because you're fighting, you know, you're fighting at in this case, you're fighting with no headgear. Well, now they've changed the rules, but everything is just a lot different.
Gloves.
Yeah, smaller gloves. So everything is a lot more different. So I think just Lomachenko is just a lot better. As far as a couple of strengths, as far as that Walters has, I mean, he has reach because he's the bigger guy. He's got more power. He's probably going to be the one to walk down Lomachenko, and I think Lomachenko feels comfortable being on his back foot because I think he'll probably try to work angles. His best plan of attack is probably follow the same blueprint that Orlando Salido did with Lomachenko, is just attack the body. You know, hopefully he can find the body because I see Lomachenko moving, but if Walters is smart, he'll just try to stick to his body in the early rounds, wear him down, and then obviously in the later rounds, hopefully he can score KO. I don't see Walters winning this by decision because the skills are too far apart. I see Walters, if he doesn't get the KO, he's not going to get the win. And obviously Lomachenko, I could see him winning either way, either unanimous decision or a TKO. That's how I would look at the stage so far. But that guy's just so impressive, Lomachenko. I mean, like I said, I don't think there's nothing he can't do. He's just such an impressive fighter. He has all his fundamentals down. The little, tendencies he does when he fights. You know, it's just little things. All those little things count for him. And like I said, Walters is a great fighter, but I'm not taking anything. But it's like another level. That's all. So
for me, I see Loma as a young Manny Pacquiao. And if you want to compare this fight to any Manny Pacquiao fight, I'll compare it to the Margarito fight, where Margarito was the taller, rangier, stronger guy, and Manny Pacquiao was the faster, you know, in and out fighter that will make you think. And honestly, in my opinion, that's how that fight's gonna end. And I think that Lomachenko will, me personally, I believe Lomachenko will TKO Walters in the late round. What do you think about that?
It's possible. I mean, the good thing about a guy like Lomachenko is when you're a smart fighter like that, if you have a fight in the bag, there's no reason for you to press the gas. I mean, obviously in boxing, you score things by rounds. If you're winning every round, why expose yourself to the risk just to get a knockdown? If you've done enough to win each round, then I don't see, unless the fight is a close one.
Yeah, but look,
I could see Lomachenko exposing himself to risk to try and win the fight, but the way he fights, I don't think he'll expose. I think he'll use his legs and work angles on Walters.
But look at the criticism that Terrence Crawford is getting for not going for the KO against Postal, and right now Lomachenko is a hot topic right now. This guy, he need to promote himself, and he's not much of a talker. He don't know much English. And
language barrier.
He needs to talk in the ring, and I believe getting those knockouts are the way that for him to promote himself. Because if you go out there and not look for the KO when it's available, they're gonna judge him for him.
No, yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. But I feel Lomachenko's more of a pure boxer. So you know, that's my take on it. I'm saying anything can happen. Like I said, Nicholas Walter, he Axeman packs a lot of punch, so that could go either way. I want to talk about a fight that's coming up on HBO, and you know, received a lot of criticism for this. And you mentioned Terrence Crawford. He's set to fight John Molina Jr. on December 10th, and he was talking a lot of smack about Danny Garcia. I think at one point, they mentioned rumors that he was going to pick John Molina Jr., and he said, "Oh, he's not a worthy opponent." So, I mean, now that he's fighting, not his leftovers, but the guy he talked down to, now he's trying to backpedal. So, I mean, what do you think of that fight? What do you think the outcome will be?
When I first heard Danny Garcia versus Molina. Damn, I didn't like it, and I'm not gonna say it's not a bad fight because John Molina is a kid that I like due to the fact that he have a lot of heart. This kid comes to fight.
Definitely.
He comes to to give his heart out there, win or lose, and it would have been an exciting fight regardless. And for the tune-up, I would rather Molina than Samuel Vargas. But I'm not as for me the 140. For Molina versus Crawford is a better fight. Why? Because Molina is a more natural 140 pounder. I believe that Danny would have the edge at
47
on 147, and but Molina is a kid that comes to fight. He's gonna when he fought Bay, I believe.
Yeah, Mickey Bay.
Yeah, Mickey Bay. That was the fight that catch my eye on this kid, and I was like, wow, he came in the last round and sold the opportunity and jumped on him and took him out. And he was losing all the rounds, and he overcame. So he's a good kid that he's gonna come there and give his all.
Do you remember the Matisse fight? That was a tough fight.
That was
I think it was a fight of the year candidate.
It was for that year. I think it was. He's a kid that he's gonna come to fight, and the Veronica was pretty good. He showed that he could box. Not at a Crawford level, but yeah, he could actually box. It's for me. It's gonna be a warm up fight for Crawford. I can't not see Molina putting an upset. I'm sorry. I love Molina, mad love for him, but Crawford is just at another.
He doesn't throw his punches in volume. When he fought Andrew Broner, he just kept throwing single punches, maybe two piece, but nothing more than that. He never set any combinations up. And honestly, Broner is a guy who's pretty stationary. I can understand a more fluid boxer, but once Broner stood there, he should have been able to get off 3-4 punch combinations to do something, and he never did. He has a lot of power, Molina, but with a guy like Crawford, he can, he likes fighters, like all boxers, they like fighters that slow it down for them so they can think, so they can set up an attack and just pretty much, I don't think he'll be able to break him down. I think he'll have to work for 12 rounds against Molina, and that's pretty much it.
Molina got to find a stable trainer, man. This guy be jumping around with trainers up and down. But, I mean, what can we do? I mean, we couldn't get the Triple G Jacobs fight, so now we got to settle for John Molina and Crawford.
Is Triple G set to fight anyone?
No, they're working on, as far as I know, Lawford is working on trying to get that fight for early 2017 with Danny Jacobs.
That'd be a great fight.
Yeah, he actually didn't want to go to press bid because he got faith that fight's gonna happen. You saw Triple G there at the fight, Kovalev fight. So I don't know. Maybe a Ward Triple G fight could happen, and maybe me and John got actually a bet on that fight. Remember when it first was talked about, and they said that Ward actually sent a contract, and Triple G had the Lemieux fight coming up, et cetera, et cetera. Some people say he ducked. Some people say, why should he sign a contract for a year from now, et cetera, et cetera. It doesn't really matter. But me and John said that if it would have ever happened, we would have bet on, he would have taken me and my wife out for dinner. But
you remember that, man? He's probably wrote it down somewhere. But no, as far as Triple G, the thing that's so and I'm going off topic here. The thing that's so impressive about him, the guy's never been down. Never been down. You know the mental advantage you have over that. You never been down. I mean, he's been hit with hard shots, and the people that have hurt him, he has hurt them right back. I.e., your Mark Murrays, your Curtis Stevens. So it's very hard to defeat a guy like Triple G. As far as you could probably defeat him boxing him out, but the thing is, Triple G is so good at cutting off the ring. It's just that guy has a hunter instinct. He doesn't walk you down. He finds a way to put that suspense on you and then, go for the kill. So, I mean, truth be told, I don't, that's a guy that nobody wants to fight. I mean, obviously he's still trying to unify the titles, but a guy like Ward, I don't think he'd take that risk, even though he's the bigger guy, because, I mean, look what happened against a guy like Kovalev. I mean, Kovalev hits hard, but Kovalev, as we saw in this performance, could have done I don't know if you agree, could have done a much better job cutting off the ring. He was just walking with him. It was like he was walking his dog or something like that. It was just bad. So.
Yeah, I don't think that Kovalev did a good job cutting down the ring. And I think he should have gone more down because Ward was bending low, and
Mhm.
that's something that I believe the referee should call him out
Yeah, definitely.
because that's illegal. For those who don't know, bending lower than your opponent's
Bending
belt,
at the waist.
yeah,
Yeah.
belly is actually illegal. And the reason why it's illegal is because you could catch a punch in the back of the head,
Yeah.
or could actually injure you.
Yeah,
So
it's dangerous.
yeah, so the referee should have catch that, and said something to War other than the clinching. I felt that he clinched a little too much. Not that often that he usually do, because War can actually bore you to death with the clinches.
Ugh.
But
bad.
I don't felt that he clinched as much, but he did bend on the belt line too much. So
Yeah.
I believe the referee should call him out on that.
Yeah, no, that's pretty much it. And then the undercard fight with Curtis Stevens and
Curtis
was a
Steven
rock-
De La
was-
Rosa,
yeah.
De La Rosa. For me, I didn't watch the whole fight. I catch it to the end, and as much as I saw, I felt that Stevens won that fight. But a lot of people said, for what I saw, De La Rosa did look good. He was pot shotting, moving around, and looking good, and he had his moments. But I think that in my opinion, Stevens had the better shot, the more powerful. For what I saw, I did miss. I can't judge the fight throughout the whole because I did miss like half of the fight. But a lot of people believe that De La Rosa should have took it, and maybe they're right because he did have his moments. He did look good, and he did show a lot of heart in that fight.
No, definitely. Well,
Before we conclude, bro, I told Brian to call in and give his opinion on the Kovalev and Ward fight. So I got him right now on. Brian, talk to us.
Hey, how you doing, guys? This is Brian once again from Queens, New York. Love the show. You guys, great topics. Love the first episode. So excited to hear it. I was really liked it. I just want to go ahead and give my opinion as far as the Andre Ward and Kovalev fight. I like the fight. Very close fight. I went ahead and watched it for a second time. I judged it. I did a scorecard. Typically, honestly, be very honest, I typically don't do that, but it was this close of a fight, and I just wanted to see, if it was a robbery. So I went ahead and I scored the first and second round for Kovalev. Obviously, the second round was with the knockdown, so that was a 10-8 round. Third round, I scored it for Ward. The fourth, I scored it for Kovalev. The fifth was Ward. The sixth was a very close round, but I gave the edge to Kovalev. Round 7, 8, 9 was Ward, and round 10 was another extremely close round, but I actually gave the edge to Kovalev on that one. And for round 11 and 12, I gave it to Andre Ward. Now, most people, some people might not agree with my scorecard. Once again, everybody judges their fights differently. I wasn't being biased. I mean, I do like Andre Ward. I like Kovalev. I just went ahead and wanted to see for myself once again if it was a robbery or if the judges got it right. It was a 114, 113 scorecard for me for Ward. It was that close of a fight. I would love to see the rematch. I think the rematch should happen right away. No wasting time. No, fighting somebody else. Just, let's cut this shit and let's just, they got unfinished business now for sure. And let's make this second fight happen the beginning of next year. Maybe April. Give these guys some time to rest. I'll even wait till June. I really don't care. I really want to see this fight happen again, right away. So that's pretty much my take. The winner was Ward. Everybody said the winner would become the number one pound for pound king. I personally think it was that close of a fight that you can't award that to the winner. You can't award it to Ward. If Ward would have won clearly, then he would have got the throne. But for me, he didn't win clearly, so it was that number one spot is still vacated for me. The Ward and Kovalev for me are in top 5. I have Ward slightly ahead of Kovalev as far as on my ratings on the pound for pound list. But yeah, so these should definitely do it again, and that way somebody could take that crown. And then for the upcoming fight, as far as the Lomachenko and the Walters fight, I'm excited for that fight, but Lomachenko for me is in another level. Lomachenko is gonna win that fight. He's gonna outbox Walters. Walters got a lot of power, but Lomachenko is definitely is in another class of his own. So he's definitely gonna take the W in that one. I would love to see a rematch of Lomachenko versus Gary Russell Jr. I know on the first fight, Lomachenko destroyed Russell Jr. But since that fight, for me, like I know sometimes you could have an off night, and that was for me Gary Russell Jr.'s off night because after that fight, Gary Russell has been looking amazing, and I would love to see a rematch. Even though the first fight Lomachenko won clearly, but it's just the way that instead of being down, he responded great, and he's been just fighting amazing. So I hope Lomachenko would definitely give Russell a rematch because we all know, honestly, in my heart, I believe Lomachenko is definitely gonna win. So I love the show, guys. Hopefully, you guys keep it going. I'm eager to keep on listening. You got your number one fan here talking. So keep doing the great job you guys are doing. Love you guys, JC and Flock, man. You guys are amazing, man. Great. Laters.
Thank you, bro. Thank you for your call, man. And there you got it, guys. That's Brian and his opinion about the fight. Like I said before, this is a fight that you could judge it either way, but you got his take and our take about it. And hope you enjoy. It's already past 30 minutes. So thank you for listening, to supporting the podcast.
Thank
We
you so much,
appreciate it.
guys.
And have a good evening. We'll see you next time.
Yeah, thank you for the love. Thank you.
Thank you.
Out.